Okay, Patrick, great job getting your work in. Thank you so much for getting your work submitted. Now, I wanted to say that you're complete here. Everything's complete. This is fantastic. Everything is where we got stuff to work with. So this is phenomenal. All right. So good job getting all the work compiled. Let's go ahead and take a look at each piece and see what we can do here. So you got your resume. That's fantastic. And then on the next page, you show your personal identity. Now, Mike, a couple of comments on personal identity. Now, typically in a personal identity package, basic personal identity package branding, you will have three pieces. You'll have your letterhead, your business card, and your envelope. However, the business card should be presented at the scale, not the scale, but, well, actually, yeah, the scale, the same dimensions as a regular business card, okay, which is 3.5 inches wide by 2 inches high. This doesn't look like the correct dimensions. In fact, it's not. It's too long. The envelope is clearly too long for a number 10 envelope. Go ahead and do some research for the dimensions of a number 10 envelope. That's a standard business envelope. Again, that's number 10 envelope. And then look up the dimensions of the business card and make sure that these are presented to scale. Okay, then over here you have the 8.5 by 11 letterhead, and that's fantastic. Now, a couple of comments here on your letterhead. So the letterhead looks like, I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit because I want to see something here with the letterhead. Okay, it looks like you have some contact information here, here, and at the bottom. So basically, watch my cursor. This is what the I is doing. It's going here, then here, then here, then here. Okay, I would like you to take all of your contact information, move it down to the bottom of the page, and just span all of your contact information at the bottom of the page. Now watch my cursor. The viewer will look here, then here. Okay, so you're eliminating the number of I stops, eliminating the I movement, and really condensing this into a more simplified and more harmonious design. The placement of the logo itself, here on the letterhead, we can clearly see that this Bradley Graphics is intended to have a circle in the background. However, these aren't circles. These are ovals. And the reason they're ovals is because the work has been scaled, or it's been adjusted, but it hasn't, you're not, excuse me, you're not adhering to the original scale of the piece. Okay. So in other words, you can't scale horizontal or without scaling vertical. You can't scale vertical without scaling horizontal. So everything should be in the correct proportions of the original piece. All right. So by doing that, by not constraining the original proportions, you get stuff like this where circles start turning into ovals. Okay. So you really want to watch that. Your resume looks good, but your resume should be placed on your letterhead, okay? And always keep your resume to one page. Don't care what you have to do, get it to one page. My first example would be this right here. We can get rid of this 1998 to 2001. That's 17, 18 years ago. Don't need that. Yeah, probably, I would key on this right here. I would key on the work that you've been doing with Bradley Designs since 1996. That's what I would key on. A lot of this stuff is irrelevant, okay? So 2010 to 2013, you need that, right? But 1996 to present, graphic design printer, Bradley Designs. Let's really key on that, because a lot of this stuff is not going to be relevant to an employer looking for a entry-level graphic designer. For example, your forklift operator. It's not going to be relevant. Now, this stuff like this, you get in your interview and you have experience of 2 leaders, 2010 to 2013 and 1996 to present. Okay, so you're obviously going to have time to talk about what you've been doing, but I don't think you really need to take the real estate to list it on a resume, specifically things that are 17, 15, 17, even 12 years old, and not associated with design itself. But the main thing is to get your resume on your letterhead. Okay, let's go to your, this is your contact sheet. Let me see here. Oh, here we are. Okay, yeah, that's just your sample sheet. That's great. Okay, and then you have your section 2 collateral design. You have 5 pieces. Now, I would consider presenting each of these pieces on one page instead of jamming them all into one page. Show, when you set your portfolio up, try to feature each one of these on a page instead of trying to jump these into all one page and really creating some confusion as where do you want the hierarchy to be? What do you want the viewer to look at first? How do you want us to look at this piece? I think it stands to reason that it makes more sense if we were to take this piece and put it large, place it large on the page so that the viewer can look at your typography, your color choices, your image placement, and your general composition. Okay. Thumbnails process book, good job there. Hands network. Okay, one thing I want to talk about the Hands network is you got your business card. That's great. I think that your print is too close to the edge there. I would pull that in. I would pull all that in so that your playing field would be something like this. So you have a nice border, okay? And this is definitely too close to the border for safe printing. The only other thing I would recommend here is billboard's great, but make sure you get a letterhead in here. Really super important. Okay. And then this is great. I think this is good, showing really good typesetting, really good knowledge of multi-page layout design. So that's phenomenal. Good job there on your publication design. Okay, then you have your digital graphics design. Now this piece right here is not telling us anything. I know this is a before and after. Wouldn't it make sense to show it as a before and after as opposed to just showing this image? I highly suggest doing that. Show the before, how damaged it was, and then show the after and what you've done and how you've fixed everything. Okay, and then this piece, I remember this piece was a magazine. I'm just going to draw a dimension of what this piece probably looks like. I'm sorry, it's going to interfere. But it's too short and fat. I would say it's probably going to be maybe dimensions something like that. Okay, but this clearly has been squished. Horizontal scale has been squished. Vertical hasn't. So that's why everything looks so short and fat. Okay, again, that points back to do not resize anything without constraining the proportions. Packaging design, POP looks fabulous. Good job here. And I think that's a nice ad. Good job. Polished nails and push. Speaks for itself. Shouldn't we have some contact information down here in that ad? I think so. Same thing here. Polished nails and spa. What more to say? Let's get some contact information down there. All right. Other than that, you're doing good. Great job. Hey, if you're finding yourself, short on time, just drop me a quick email, man. I get it, man. I totally get it. But let me know if you're experiencing some difficulties, or if you need time, or if just need some general, I need an extra night or whatever. Just let me know. I'm glad to give it to you, but you have to let me know before. All right. Awesome job, Patrick. Thanks very much. If you have any questions, comments, or other, please do not hesitate to contact me. All right. Thanks.